long time, but welcome back to the Pass the Gravy podcast. Uh, today, okay, so Disney has been making tons of live action remakes of their past movies that were originally animated. Personally, I think they should stop. But, 'cause, I mean, you've already hit gold. Why keep trying to make it different? But since they're not gonna stop, I had the idea that maybe Nathan and me could go through, pick some movies that would probably work better in live action, and pick out a director, or like a director we think would do a good job making the movie in live action, and cast a couple of the main roles and people who we think could bring the characters to life. So, uh, I guess I'll go first. And like the most obvious movie that I think could work for live action, and it's like a lesser known Disney movie, it's The Black Cauldron,
Yes.
which it's pretty good. I think it's I think it's a pretty good movie. I think it's a little slow in the middle, but I mean it's a fun fantasy movie, and originally when I thought of who I wanted to direct it, I thought of like Tim Burton, because Tim Burton knows how to do like dark and fantasy, like Beetlejuice and his Batman movie and all the other stuff that he's done. But I actually did some research, and originally for the original production of the Black Cauldron, he was actually animating it and drawing some of it. But because that movie had a lot of production problems, he dropped out of it, and that's why he doesn't do animation. Is because of Black Cauldron.
Mhm.
So I decided instead to either go with Peter Jackson, who made like Lord of the Rings, because he knows how to do fantasy, he knows how to do action, and he just knows how to make a solid fantasy movie. So I think for either that or Guillermo del Toro,
Yeah, I was
who's
about to
directed.
say.
Yeah, I mean, I think I haven't seen a lot of Guillermo del Toro's stuff. Like I know he would do a great job and it would make a lot of money. But I don't know. I think it's just because I've seen more Peter Jackson stuff. I feel like Peter Jackson is the super safe pick
Mhm.
because I don't really know what he's been doing here lately. But anywho, uh, who I thought could play Torin, who's the main character, the farm boy, who's the hero of the story. I picked Noah Schnapp from like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
He's he's a great actor. I think he's probably the best, or at least in the top five best young actors and in the show and in like TV and movies right now. He also looks the part, I think. I feel like if he wanted to like step away from the Stranger Things spotlight, this would be a really good project to do it with.
Yeah.
Um, and then Princess I don't know how to say her name. It's like Ayalonwi. I don't really remember how to say it.
Yeah.
It's yeah, something like that. And for that, I picked Rowan Blanchard. She was like in Girl Meets World, and I don't know what she's doing now, but I mean I watched a couple episodes of that back when it first was like coming out, and I mean I think she could pull off like kind of the aloofness and like the childlike wonder that the princess has, and I thought that'd be pretty cool. And then for Fluter Flam, who was like the bard, and it's kind of like comic relief, I thought why not just do Steve Carell? I know
Mhm.
he's been doing like a bunch of dramas and stuff here lately, but I mean, why not try to get back into comedy? I thought that'd be pretty cool. And then for the Horned King, since it more than likely, if it's in live action, it would be like CGI or whatever. Why not just have it voiced by Keith David? Keith David was in Gargoyles, and uh he was in the last season of Community. I don't remember his name, but he's the guy with the virtual reality stuff. Yeah, he has a really cool voice, so why not just have him voice act it? And it would be really cool and be really intimidating because he has that really deep voice, and it would just sound really cool within a dark, creepy castle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I have for the Black Cauldron.
Nice. I think the Black Cauldron would be really cool in a live action remake, especially since it's like, because I remember I hadn't heard of it until you had told me about it quite a while ago, and I actually just watched it this year. I fell asleep at the end, but I really enjoyed it, and I just haven't gotten around to watching it again. Um, but I would really like to see that movie in live action form. It'd be pretty cool.
As a cartoon, I think it's really good, and it looks really good. The animation is really great because Disney. But honestly, I think it could really benefit from being in a live action
Mhm.
form. And it's not like we get tons of fantasy movies
Mhm.
anymore. And usually, if they do, they're like really crappy, like that King Arthur Legend of the Sword or that new Robin Hood movie, which I'll touch on Robin Hood later. But it's not like we get a lot of really good fantasy movies anymore.
Mhm.
It's not like we get a lot of good fantasy TV shows either. So why not just? I feel like we need like something new that's fantasy, because I mean we have like Star Wars for sci-fi, and we have like Marvel for like superheroes and sci-fi and all the other different genres within it. I think it'd be cool to just go back to watching like having a new fantasy movie come out.
Mhm. Absolutely. Um. All right. So the first movie that I have on my list is Treasure Planet, and I haven't actually watched the whole thing. I watched like halfway through it. Um, I don't know. It didn't seem super amazing to me, but I can definitely see how some people like it. And I think Taika Waititi would be a great person to have direct a Treasure Planet remake.
Mm-hmm.
It just.
I mean, that movie has a lot of really die-hard fans,
Mm-hmm.
and I think my problem with it is that it gets like really slow pacing
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning, and so I mean Taika Waititi is pretty good at pacing movies. He knows how to do humor too. So
Yeah. So I think if you get Taika in there and he just cleans up the pacing and adds a little bit of his touch of humor, it could be really good. As for the casting, um, I think for the lead, which is Jim Hawkins, I believe, I think either Logan Lerman or Joe Keery would do a really good job in that role.
hmm
Um, Captain Amelia, I think, should be played by Haley Atwell or Natalie Dormer. Um, and then Dr. Doppler, which I think he's like kind of like the I don't know, like the character who uh he was kind of like cowardly, but then like has that redeeming point at the end where like he summons up the courage and stuff.
hmm
But I think that should be played by Bill Hader.
hmm
Um,
what's he in? That name sounds familiar.
I'd have to look it up. I know he's in a whole bunch of different things. I just can't name him off the top of my head.
Okay, I'll look. You can keep going.
Okay. Then for Long John Silver, I think John Goodman should play that character, and he was in Community. He's the air conditioning school or whatever, um, with Donald
Oh,
Glover. He's
yeah,
like
that
the
would be
the
really
vice
cool.
principal. Um,
hmm
and then Captain Flint, who I think is like the main bad guy. Uh, he kind of looks like a dragon or something like that. So I think Benedict Cumberbatch would be able to bring out that intimidating factor and really bring that character to life with his voice.
Oh, well, I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch can do anything.
That's
He
right.
just has the range.
Um, for Mr. Arrow, I think Lawrence Fishburne would be a good choice. Um, he was off of something. There was a really good reason why I picked him.
Did you say Lawrence Fishburne?
Yeah.
He was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. He was in Man of Steel, and he's been in a bunch of other different stuff. But that's just the stuff that I've seen him in the most recent.
Who is he in Ant-Man and the Wasp? Is he?
He okay. So there's a scene where him and Ant-Man, they're talking about how big they've gotten.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
So he was
costume, yeah,
Giant Man or.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that's right. And then Sarah Hawkins, who's the main protagonist's mom, I think should be Julia Roberts.
hmm
And that's all I got.
I mean, I've watched Treasure Planet, and it's also kind of like the Black Cauldron, where sometimes it has like really bad pacing issues.
Mhm.
But I mean, I think the aesthetic of it, because it's supposed to be like Victorian times with steampunk, but it's not like
It's a really
the
cool
it's
concept.
yeah, it's not like one concept overdoes the other one, so it's
Mhm.
not just all steampunk or all like Victorian times. Like it's actually melded together really well. I think okay, so like the sets and the costumes and everything for Thor Ragnarok are really cool, and then like the sets and everything for Jojo Rabbit are really good, and all the costumes. So I think it's kind of obvious that Taki Waititi has an eye for set and has an eye for costumes,
Yeah.
and so I think he could really bring that design out, and it would look really cool.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, even if the story is just okay, it will just be fun to look at.
Yeah. Those are my thoughts exactly.
Okay, so my next movie is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So I watched this movie actually a couple weeks ago, and I think there could be two ways to do Hunchback. Is one, make it like a musical, like it already is, but just make a musical, make it more lighthearted, but like still have those really dark moments, and or have it strictly drama, where it's very dark, it's very intense, and it's like very dramatic. So, if if they wanted to do the more of a musical aspect, which I think they would, I think it would be a good idea if they did Michael Gracie, and he directed The Greatest Showman,
Mhm.
which was one of the hottest things on the planet when it first came out, and like the soundtrack came out and everything.
Yeah.
So, and he knows how to do like a spectacle, because that movie is very pretty and it's shot really well. Or if they want to do strictly drama, Greta Gerwig. Greta Gerwig is probably my favorite female director. She directed Lady Bird, and she directed the Little Women movie that came out a while ago. So she knows how to do drama, she knows how to do period pieces, and she knows how to do characters. And I think that would, because Quasimodo is a very complex character, it would work out really well. So there's like the two avenues of what they could do.
Mhm.
And to play Quasimodo, if they were just going to do, I don't know if this actor can sing or not, but Jack Mulhern, he was in The Society, which is a show that actually just got canceled by Netflix. But I
Mm.
mean, he plays like a character in the show that's very, I don't know the like he's like he's a closeted gay person, and he doesn't like, but it's not overdone. It's actually done in a really good, realistic way.
Yeah.
And he's smart and he's capable, and he's charming on screen because he knows how to have chemistry with other actors without overdoing it.
Right.
And so I mean, just give him the Hunchback and everything, and I mean, this could be a really good push for his career. So I think that would be pretty cool. I don't know if he can sing or not, but I mean, that'd be pretty cool. And for Esmeralda, who is the gypsy woman, I think Ana de Armas would do a really good job. She's been doing a lot of different movies. Like, I think she's going to be in the upcoming James Bond movie.
Yeah.
She was in Knives Out, which is really good, which is how I got introduced to her. And she's been in a bunch of other different action movies, but she's a really good actress, and she would look the part too. And then for Claude Frollo, who is the villain of the movie, at first I thought Christopher Walken, because that's like the most obvious answer to me. It would work and be really cool. But then I was thinking a little bit more, and why not Richard E. Grant? Now, Richard E. Grant was actually in Rise of Skywalker. He plays
Oh, is he that new admiral person?
yeah, that's that guy.
Okay.
But he was also a villain in Doctor Who back a long time ago, back when like Matt Smith was still the Doctor.
Yeah.
And he does a really good job in that. He knows how to be a villain. He knows how to be intimidating and dark. I think it'd be really cool. I'm pretty sure he can sing. He seems like the kind of actor who did, like, I think he's done a lot of theater. So I think if they did want to do a musical, he would definitely be able to sing. So that's all I have for Hunchback.
Now, I got a question for you. Would you rather see it in a musical form or more of a straight drama?
I think I would rather see it as a straight drama, but it's one of those things that I don't think they would ever do that, especially Disney. I don't think they would. I think they'd want to do a drama that's very much like The Greatest Showman. But I think it'd be I just want to see Greta Gerwig do more movies, and I don't know. I think she would do a really great job at it. And so, I mean, that movie has a lot to say too about society and like all these other things. And I feel like Greta Gerwig is very opinionated and is very good at expressing herself in an understandable manner.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think it'd be really cool if she did it, just to see what she would do with it. So I mean, I think I would prefer just a straight drama with her directing it.
Cool. Let's see. Next, I have Atlantis, the Lost Empire, and I really enjoyed Atlantis when I saw it. And I don't know, like all the characters were really fun to watch, at least in my opinion, and it was just a really cool story. So I don't have a good idea of who I would want to direct the movie. I've seen stuff saying that Guillermo del Toro should be directing it or something like that.
I think
Which I
J.J.
think,
Abrams would be a good choice.
yeah, I can
I
see
mean,
that.
I think he needs a project away from Star Wars or anything like that.
Hmm.
I mean, if you wanted like Spielberg to do it without Spielberg doing it, you just be like, because I mean, Super 8, that movie is very much inspired by Spielberg. So like,
Yeah,
if you couldn't get him to do it, just have J.J. Abrams do it.
yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about J.J. Abrams, but
Hmm I
uh,
feel like that could be a whole episode.
yeah, we could do that. Um, but anyways, as for the casting though, I think I found some really good people. Um, so for Milo, who's the main character, I think there was a bunch of people saying Tom Holland should be Milo, but I think Tom Holland just still looks too young for that kind of role. Even though Milo is really young, uh, I don't think Tom Holland's looks old enough. Um, so I think Andrew Garfield should play Milo.
Oh, you couldn't get one Spider-Man, so you got the other. I
Exactly.
understand.
But like Andrew Garfield is like, especially after watching Silence,
Hmm.
he's an actually good actor, and I I find his performance as Peter Parker almost like unbearable to watch.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't think that was his fault necessarily. I think that was more of the script's fault.
Yeah,
Um,
that was. I think that was the director's fault, and that was also
yeah.
just the script in general. Because Andrew Garfield is an actual good actor.
And watching him
He's.
in The Social Network too, he does a great job.
Oh yeah, but like the thing with Tom Holland, I haven't seen his newest movie, like The Devil's Time or whatever.
It's pretty
But
good.
he's been playing the same character since he's been in movies. It's always the young boyish character who's like the youngest in the group, who is like childlike wonder and like looks up to like the main character. I mean, he's been playing the same character. He's like Harrison Ford. He's
Hmm.
been playing the same character forever. I mean, I haven't seen his newest movie, but at least Andrew Garfield has range. I think is I know Andrew Garfield is older than Tom Holland, but he's definitely light years beyond uh, Tom Holland.
Yeah, so that's who I would want to play Milo, and I think he could pull it off. He could pull
Hmm.
off the look, and I mean, he's just a great actor. For is it Princess Kita, I think, or Kira or something like that.
I think it might be Kira. I think.
Um, anyways, for her, it should be Kat Graham or Zoe Saldana. Um, I don't know much about Kat Graham, but she really looks the part.
Hmm.
I think she's been in uh, some smaller roles, or just roles that I haven't seen. She was in 17 again and The Parent Trap.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but I think that's who I would want to play Princess. For Helga Sinclair, that's the main villain, I'm pretty sure. It should be Yvonne Strahovski,
Mm,
because she is German, and I'm pretty sure that's what the main villain is. Like, she's German. Um,
yeah.
and I think that I read that Yvonne has done villain roles or villain like roles before. So I think that would be good for her. For the mechanic girl, Audrey Ramirez, I think Tessa Thompson could probably pull that role off really well.
Hmm.
For that mole character, I think he's French, but Jean Reno, and then the dynamite guy Vincenzo or whatever. I think John Turturro would be really good in that role.
Hmm.
And he was in the Transformers movies, is what I know him from mainly. Um, but his roles in that movie or those movies is pretty entertaining. At least I think so. Dr. Joshua Strongbear, I think should be played by Winston Duke, and Winston, I believe, played M'Baku in the Black Panther movie.
Hmm.
I think he would do a really good. He looks the part, and I want to see more of him in movies. And then I think the last person I have on the list is Commander Lyle, who's the other bad guy. And I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan would be really good for that role too.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't watched that movie in a long time, but I mean, the cast sounds like a solid cast that would be able to produce anything that they needed to
Hmm.
make it the movie as best as it could be. So, um, okay, for the next movie, I have Robin Hood. Now, Robin Hood has been done a lot, and I mean, the last time I think it was like actually successful was like Robin Hood Men in Tights, directed by Mel Brooks, which is a funny movie. But I mean, the last time like an actual serious Robin Hood movie was like good was the one with what's his name? The one with Morgan Freeman
Mhm.
and Alan Rickman. Yeah, it's Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah.
That one's probably my favorite Robin Hood movie.
There
But
is a BBC show of Robin Hood that I really like. It's a little bit cheesy, but it's like the perfect mix between like actual seriousness and cheesiness.
I mean,
It
that's
just
the
it works
thing.
so well for me though, and
That,
Richard Armitage is in it too, so that's a
I mean,
huge plus.
I mean, the thing with Robin Hood is that you can have it almost any range. You can have it funny and silly. You can have it like dark and serious, or you can have it like a mixture of like a fun action adventure movie. Um, so it's kind of like my Hunchback pitch. There's two ways that I think would be really cool. Either go for the more like fun, uh, more like there's action, but it's more about comedy, or just go for more of like kind of like a Marvel movie-esque Robin Hood movie that is funny. There's still action, but there's also like still some dark moments. And so I didn't really know who to direct. So I just put down either Joss Whedon, who directed Avengers, Firefly, all that stuff, or Taika Waititi. For Robin Hood, I have either Zac Efron or Sebastian Stan.
Yeah,
So with Zac Efron, he knows how to do comedy, he knows how to do action, and he's still a good actor, and he would look the part because like if you haven't seen him here lately, he has a beard and a mustache, so that'd be pretty cool. Or Sebastian Stan. I haven't seen Sebastian Stan in a lot of things, and I wish he had more to do in the Marvel movies,
you
which
need
is
to
what I
watch
decided for.
his movie The Last Full Measure. He does
Uh,
a
what's it
fantastic
on?
job. I I'm not sure how I watched it actually. I think it was on Hulu, but I don't think you can watch it on there anymore. Or maybe it was Amazon Prime. But it was really good, and he does a fantastic job in that movie.
I mean, I know this is a quick tangent, but I feel like if he had more to do in the Marvel movies, he would be my favorite character, just because he looks so cool and I like the
hmm
concept.
He's also
Anywho,
in The Devil All the Time with Tom Holland.
yeah, that's that's on my watch list. It's probably what I'm gonna watch next when I sit down and watch a movie, because it has Robert Pattinson, Tom Holland, and Sebastian Stan in it.
hmm
Uh, Anywho, I think he'd be fun. I just would like to see what he would do with the role. Um, but I feel like for him, it would be more of an action type thing. But
Yeah.
for Little John, either way, whether it's comedy or it's more serious, I put Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt knows how to do humor because Parks and Rec is literally. I prefer him in Parks and Rec over Star Lord. But anywho, he knows how to do action because Star Lord and Jurassic World and all that stuff. Uh, he knows how to do comedy, and he knows how to have good chemistry with other actors.
hmm
And for Maid Marian, for the more serious movie, I would put Emily Blunt because she's intelligent. She's smart and she can portray intelligence. She can be an independent character. She's also done action before, so I think that would just be fun. And also she's like one of my favorite actresses. Um, then on more of the comedy side, I have Alison Brie from Community,
hmm
and she's been doing all these other things. She's also super funny, can play independent characters. Uh, I don't know. And also I feel like her and Zac Efron would have really good chemistry. For the Sheriff of Nottingham, for the more comedic movie, I have Bruce Campbell. because uh, he's been in a couple different things, but like just his voice and just how he looks, I feel like he could portray like a jerk sheriff that you think is like kind of funny, but you also realize that he's like a terrible person.
Yeah.
And then for more of which I think Bruce Campbell could work for either the comedy or the more serious version. But then my other choice would be Kurt Russell because knows how to do humor, he knows how to do action, and he can also just be a jerk. So I think either of those two would work for either or.
Mhm.
Now, for King John, I have Jeff Goldblum for, and I think he could do either or, but I think mostly comedy because he was the last thing that I saw him in was Thor Ragnarok, and he was really good in that, and he was really funny. And so I mean, just have that, but put him in a crown. Uh, I think that would work out really well. And for the jester, because in the original Disney movie, there's like that rooster that plays the lute
Yeah,
and
Alan the
sings and
Dale.
stuff. I have Taki Watiti. I think that would be really funny because he plays like the smaller role characters, and he would just love something like that because like he plays Korg in the Marvel movies, and he plays that IG unit in the Mandalorian. I feel like he would just have a lot of fun being the narrator. And I think he also has like the perfect voice for it because he's from New Zealand and he has like that accent, and also he's really funny because I also watched Jojo Rabbit, and he's super funny in that movie as Hitler, and I think he would just really he would have fun doing it, so everyone that would be watching would be able to tell that he's having fun, and I don't know, I think it would just be funny.
Mhm. Now, would you prefer
That's
the comedy version or the more like action oriented version?
See, I say it's a comedy, but when I say that I'm trying to mean more action adventure that has like funny stuff happen in it.
Oh, okay.
So it's more of like a Marvel movie
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
something like that in that vein. So it's not strictly like Men in Tights. It's
Right.
more fun action adventure. I think I would prefer fun action adventure. I mean, I don't know. I think I would enjoy that more, but I'd also be down to watch a darker Robin Hood movie. But and then I thought of this like yesterday, and I was like thinking about casting the different roles, and I forgot about Friar Tuck, and I was thinking of like, oh, who would be a good role for that? And then I thought like it like came to me out of the blue, and I was like Sean Astin. Sean
Yeah.
Astin would be a perfect Friar Tuck. He has the build, and he has like he just him by himself. He has the personality of like a Friar Tuck type character,
Yeah.
especially as like Sam or his role in Stranger Things. I was like, why not? I feel like he would love to do something like this.
Absolutely. I would love to watch Sean Astin uh play in that role.
I mean, he could do the fun action adventure, or he could do the darker one. I think he would work
Either
really
way.
well.
Yeah.
hmm it fits so well, and I was so proud of myself when I thought of it. But
Honestly,
that's all.
if I heard if I just heard that Sean Astin was playing Friar Tuck, that would be the only thing that I would need to be sold on that movie.
hmm Yeah, I wish there was a good Robin Hood movie coming out. I don't even want to watch that. The one with Jamie Foxx, and
Yeah.
apparently it's supposed to be like Batman Begins. It's like why? It's like why do you keep? It's like they were trying to pull from The Dark Knight, but they're also trying to pull from like different Marvel movies. I was like, just go all the way with it, one way or the other, and I think it would turn out better.
Mhm.
But
I haven't
that
seen
that's
that,
all.
and I have no intention of seeing that movie.
Yeah, it came out around the same time as that King Arthur, Legends of the Sword,
Hmm.
and I watched that, and that put such a bad taste in my mouth that I was like, man, I don't even want to try watching this.
Yeah, I remember my family got it on Redbox, and we had like a family night and watched that movie, but I'm pretty sure I just came up to my room and started playing video games or something instead of watching the movie because I got bored of it.
I think Taron Egerton is an amazing actor. I think he's probably one of the best young actors working right now. But man, I don't. I'm sure he could be really good Robin Hood, but I don't know. It just rubs me the whole all like it just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know why, but
Um,
that's all I have.
all right. So the last movie that I have is The Sword in the Stone, and I feel like this. I don't know. I've heard news that it's actually in production, like a live action Sword in the Stone.
Hmm.
Um, but anyways, I feel like it's a good thing that this should be made into a live action adaptation. But I don't think that they should veer off so far from what the original is. Um, yeah, I don't really have much to change. I think for the majority, the movie should stay how it is, and I think
Hmm.
just bringing it more to life in live action is all that's necessary. There is one part that I would change at the ending, um, but other than that, I think it should stay the same.
Hmm.
As for the cast, I think that Arthur should be played by Cameron and Nicholas Crovetti. Uh, those twins, they've been in a few pretty big films, and I think what I know them from is the TV show The Boys, and they're not in The Boys a whole lot, but I think they do a really good job when they're in it, and they look the part too. So I think those twins could definitely be Arthur. And you know what? Whatever one of the twins can't really do as well, the other can probably pull off, and so they can help each other doing that without us knowing that it's two separate people playing the part.
Hmm.
Um, then for Merlin, I think Gary Oldman would do a good job. Now, I haven't seen anything where Gary Oldman is playing like a mentor role. Usually, I see him as like a bad guy or just being Commissioner Gordon in Batman. But I think he could definitely do a really good job, and he could look the part too, since he's getting pretty old. So
Hmm.
just give him a little makeup, and he could look like old Merlin. Archimedes, I think, should be played by Simon Pegg or
Oh,
Timothy
that'd be good.
Spall, but I think mainly Simon Pegg, and especially after the Dark Crystal, like Age of Resistance. You know, Simon Pegg was the Chamberlain in that, and I mean he's a good voice actor, so I think he could definitely be Archimedes. He does like not doing like the whole high pitched Chamberlain voice or anything, but I think he could
Hmm.
definitely pull it off. Uh, for Sir Ector, I think Brendan Gleeson would not only look the part but do a fantastic job in the role, and he was Mad Eye Moody in the Harry Potter movies,
Hmm.
and so I think not only does he look the role of Sir Ector, but I mean just based from what he's done in Harry Potter, he could definitely pull off this character. And it's not like there's a whole lot to the character.
Hmm.
Um, Sir Kay, I think, should be played by Will Poulter. Um,
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
and then Madam Mim should be Helena Bonham Carter.
Yep, that's pitch perfect casting for her.
Yeah, I think it would be really good. Um, so the thing that I would change at the end, because like at the end he just walks over to the sword and the stone and he pulls it out and everybody like bows to him and he's the king now and that's the end, right?
Yeah.
But he doesn't really use any of his newfound skills that he's learned with Merlin to come to the end. Like it doesn't all come together, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't feel like earned necessarily. So I think,
It's a weird ending because, like you said, he doesn't use any of his newfound like skills, so it feels like a very abrupt
yeah.
ending.
So I think, I mean, other than maybe adding a little more depth to the other characters like Sir Ector and Sir Kay, um,
Mm-hmm.
I think that the way it should end is he pulls the sword out of the stone, right? And everybody bows to him and he's the king now. But then, Sir Kay isn't having any of it because he thinks that he should be the one that's the king. And so he challenges Arthur to a duel. Now, whether this be like an actual sword fight or like a joust or both or something like that, he should challenge him to a duel. And so
Mm-hmm.
obviously Arthur, being much younger than Sir Kay, should be at the disadvantage. It should seem like there's no way that he can win. But that's where, all those new skills that Merlin has taught Arthur come in handy, and he's able to use the environment and his wits in order to beat Sir Kay, just like Merlin did to beat Madame Mim earlier in the movie. Um, and so then after losing, Kay apologizes for everything he's done uh, and admits that Arthur isn't that bad. And then Arthur forgives him and makes him one of the first knights at the Round Table, and that's how it should end. And not only does this make the story feel more compelling, like coming to an end, um, but it also like makes it feel like that whole thing wasn't just for nothing and it was with that abrupt ending. And it fleshes out the characters a little more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like that. I mean, whenever I talk about like Disney movies with people, and I like talk about Sword in the Stone because it's probably like my favorite or my second favorite Disney movie. Everybody seems to have forgotten about that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's just a fun, chill movie to watch. But I mean, I think you're right. Like it does, it feel like he doesn't use any of his skills, and it's a very abrupt ending. So having the ending that you have, where actually has to earn it now that he has like the newfound like skills, and he has the sword, like he actually has to earn it. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's really cool. I think it'd be a really cool movie, especially since you're adding on something to make not just Arthur better, but also all the other surrounding characters more interesting. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well that's how I think that should go. That's all I got for that.
I mean, and also King Arthur is kind of like we were talking earlier, is like Robin Hood, where there's been like a million King Arthur movies, and only like two of them are actually good.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
Yeah. And I wouldn't want this to
what
be
can
like
you
a,
do?
a more darker, grittier version. I think it should just be still super lighthearted and just really a story about Merlin passing down wisdom to Arthur.
That'd be cool. But
And just imagine like all the different scenes where like they're turning into different animals and stuff like in the oh, what do you call it? The
when they're
moat
in the
around,
moat,
yeah. That would be so cool. Or yeah.
see, I think you could take out the one with the squirrels where they turn into squirrels. I think that one is pretty weird.
Mhm.
But I like the one with the fish. I think that scene's pretty entertaining.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all I have for that.
Yeah.
Is that
Um. Yeah, I don't
that's
have
it?
anything else.
Okay. Well, um, I guess we can go ahead and end this episode.
All right. Uh. Yeah, it's been a long time since we've done an episode, but hopefully we'll get back into the flow of doing them pretty at like some type of regular schedule. But yeah.
All right. Well, until next time.